Yes.
You were talking about having your own branded debit fare card, and that is always a real pain in my thoughts because you have a commuter who's getting on Omnitrans,
Right.
which is a different fare system.
Okay.
Getting on Metrolink,
Okay.
which is a different fare system.
Okay.
And then getting on Metro in LA,
Okay.
and that's a different fare system.
Okay.
That has at least cash for all of that, or 3 different passes.
I'm not, I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with Omni. What is that?
Riverside, is it Riverside?
Is that part of our agency? Is that RCTA? Or
No, it's
RCTC? Okay, okay, anyways.
So you have, you're in a sense, you're forcing your commuter to use your branded
But you
fare.
go back to the you go back to right now, our passes, you have a monthly pass for a ticket, you have the ability to connect through. So when you use the debit card, you buy a pass that connects through all
But
through.
it's becoming harder because Metro is going over the cap,
Well,
which is a contact
true, but if you buy your ticket through the TVM at Metrolink, that gives you the opportunity to connect through to Metro. We just signed a deal to connect through the Sprinter down in San Diego. So with the little star that's on our tickets, that allows you to connect through because every month we pay our partner agencies X amount of money to allow our customers to have a clean connection.
Now, is that for single tickets as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. And once again, you start looking at some of the items out there, and we have to sit back, not only as a marketing sales department, but as an agency, just to say, are we doing a good job to communicate to our customers so they know all the ins and outs, what's offered, what's not. And in many cases, it's amazing. You see somebody with a monthly pass, but they go to the the red line, they put tokens in the machine. And say, you don't have to do that because your pass goes through. Well, I didn't know that. So you got to sit back and say, okay, whose fault is that? Well, I say it's our fault. Did we communicate it clear enough to the customer to say, this is what the added value of the pass is?
One question. When the gates close in Metro, will you guys have a way of opening the gates with your ticket?
I don't know that. I'm not quite sure what gates you're referring to.
They're
turnstiles
on everything.
I know that, I've heard about the turnstile things, and those things we're going to work through. We're going to figure out a way to work through that because, at the end of the day, when you look at Metro or San Bernardino or everybody else, you understand they all own us. So we're their train, basically. And it would be foolish on everyone's part if we don't sit down and figure out, okay, it's our customer. So we benefit each other, and those are the things that people have to sit down and say, okay, what if? What if? And we got to just walk through that.
One last question,
Sure.
which is, how are you outreaching to other communities, different languages? Latino and Korean is growing rapidly in Southern California, Vietnamese, and all of those. Are you just doing English language right now?
No, right now I know we're doing Spanish and also English, and that's another area that's on the agenda to look at what are the cultures and what other things that we can do. Because, once again, people who ever rent our trains, we got to make sure it's very clear that everything is, well printed. And, for me, I understand that very well, traveling the world and going to foreign countries. It's something that, once again, we got to get all the barriers knocked down. So regardless of what your nationality or who you're marketing to, that's a seamless opportunity for them. Yes, sir.
I have 2 suggestions. Maybe you want to. One of the things that I found marketing incorporation is that a lot of the stop basically playing it's always been a parking lot, concession stand, or nothing.
Right.
It's just plain. But if you incorporate, you can incorporate like you can make it an idea of Metrolink to have a restaurant or something that you can shop by.
Right.
Like pepper, or how you market your area.
One of the challenges we run into, unfortunately, we don't control the stations. You know, each of the stations are controlled by each of their, you know, cities and communities. So therefore, you know, it drives me nuts because, you know, you look at coming up OCTA or Orange County, you see a certain type of look. You go further down and you see a different kind of look. You go further out, you see a different type of look. So it's not consistent, and unfortunately what happens is we kind of get, you know, kind of bunched into that thinking that it's our stations. We wish we had the flexibility to look at how do you enhance the stations. One thing I was thinking about, I don't know if it works or not, but it's kind of in the back of my mind, I would love to see, I'll give you an example, Anaheim Station. I would love to go to the Dodgers, not the Dodgers, but the Angels, or else the, you know, Ducks, and say, hey guys, got an idea. You want to sponsor the station? And then have them maybe throw in some money, put their signs up, it could be, you know, the Ducks, you know, Duck Hangout or Angels Hangout. And look at that throughout the whole line. Is it possible to do it to all 55 stations? I don't know. But you know what? I'm always up for the challenge. And, you know, even if you get, you know, a small company, even like, you know, McDonald's or AM/PM or even, you know, a mom and pop shop to, you know, pay a few dollars to enhance some of the appearance, at least then you can start with consistency. For us, you know, when you look at the stations, we own probably a 4x4 area, and that's where we put up our station signs or, you know, our look. And we're going through a whole communications campaign right now. Communications also falls under me, so one of the things we have to offer is a consistent product. One of the things that we have to do is we got to educate the people. Okay, number one, we need to be consistent. If you're going to have a 9x10 sign there, you should have it over there too. And if you can put it on the right side of the TVM, you got to do the same thing. At the same time, take a step back, read the sign, make sure it makes sense from a traveler standpoint. I read a sign where it was down at Union Station, it was during the Pomona Fair. It says, in order to get to the fair, take the San Bernardino line and boom, boom, boom. Okay, you know, it makes sense. You're at Union Station, you look up, San Bernardino line, makes sense. But you know what, the same sign's down in Orange County. And it says, you know, take the San Bernardino line, you look at Orange County and say, where the heck is San Bernardino? And yet, you know, it's that one extra step that we have to educate our employees to say, okay, you know what, let's do the role reverse. Look at it from a customer standpoint and ask yourself, is it adequate? And when you start looking at, you know, one of our concerns right now, if we grow ridership like I think we can, we're going to have parking lot issues. Because I'll tell you, I see what's out there. You got free parking. You know, you got a lot of people already taking advantage of it. If we start growing ridership in some of the areas where there's a need, well, I know we're going to have parking issues. So, yes, sir.
We've got solutions.
Now, we're here now.
I'm very excited about the customer engagement strategy at Metrolink, and specifically some of the initiatives like having regular hourly, maybe even half-hourly service to Burbank Airport. And what you said really resonated with me, that you have 187 corporate customers, but how many tens of thousands of corporate customers is there in terms of potential?
Right.
Yeah, we don't even know.
It's huge.
I have a friend that I mentioned, you know, I do transit advocacy, and she said, you know, I actually work very close to a Metrolink station in Commerce. And I actually live not too far from a Metrolink station in London. But the way the trips are set up, it doesn't work for me to be able to use the train to go to work, even though I would if I could. And so the fact that Metrolink runs through a lot of industrial neighborhoods, while, you know, from a TOD standpoint, maybe that's not optimal, but station in terms of the commuters who might be going from one side of Union Station to another.
We're looking at that, because, you know, one of the things is when you look at, you know, you bring somebody in on the sales marketing side, you got to inject the fill trains. Okay, the first thing you do is, okay, let me understand the trains. We've done all the analysis. I also have the GIS section under me so they can run all the data for me so I can see that. And it's like, okay, our first thing is let's fill the demand where we can service it. The second step is, okay, what else is out there? You know, have we really sat down and asked the question? I mean, one of the things I found, which is interesting, Metrolink is great on surveying. You know, we spend a lot of money surveying people. But, you know, I asked the question, I said, we only survey people on our trains. Why don't we go down the street for the people that aren't riding our trains and ask them, why aren't you riding our train? Or let's go to other places and say, what do we need to do differently? And you start asking yourself those questions, and that's going to help us decide how to design our service. Because there's a lot of things I think we're doing what we're doing because